INFJs are often celebrated for their selfless and empathetic nature, as they genuinely care about the well-being of others and strive to make the world a better place. Here's a note about the complex interplay of selflessness and selfishness in the INFJ's life. 1. Context matters. Context is the ever-shifting backdrop against which an INFJ's behavior and choices are illuminated. As individuals known for their complex and multifaceted nature, INFJs are particularly attuned to the nuances of context, understanding that it molds their actions, reactions, and communication style. Here's a closer look at why context matters significantly for INFJs. INFJs possess an acute social sensitivity that allows them to read the emotional undercurrents in any given situation. They are attuned to the moods, energy, and unspoken emotions of those around them. This sensitivity prompts them to adapt their behavior to match the prevailing social context. INFJs are renowned for their empathy. In social settings, they use this gift to connect with others on a deep emotional level. The context of the interaction dictates how they express this empathy. It may manifest as active listening, offering a comforting presence, or engaging in insightful conversations, depending on what the situation calls for. INFJs are versatile communicators, adapting their conversational style to suit the context. In professional settings, they can be articulate, organized, and concise, while in personal or emotional contexts, they may lean towards more open, empathetic, and supportive conversations. The context of conflict or disagreement often guides how an INFJ approaches resolution. They may employ their diplomatic skills to mediate disputes when harmony is crucial, or they might choose a more direct approach if the situation requires immediate resolution. INFJs are boundary-conscious individuals who carefully navigate their personal limits. The context plays a pivotal role in how they assert their boundaries. In intimate relationships, they may express their needs with gentleness and vulnerability, whereas in professional settings, they might assert boundaries more assertively. INFJ's emotional state is profoundly affected by the context they find themselves in. They may adapt their emotional expression to match the tone of the environment, maintaining composure in formal settings or expressing warmth and enthusiasm in more relaxed or intimate situations. INFJs are skilled at adapting to the prevailing social norms and expectations of a given context. While they remain true to their core values, they adjust their behavior to be socially appropriate, often striking a delicate balance between authenticity and conformity. The context of personal growth and self-discovery is of great significance to INFJs. They consciously seek out experiences and environments that facilitate their growth and allow them to explore their own potential, often making choices that align with this context. The alignment of a context with their ethical principles and values is paramount for INFJs. They are more likely to engage actively and passionately in contexts that resonate with their deeply held beliefs. Previous experiences and lessons learned also play a role in how INFJs navigate a current context. Their past informs their present choices and behaviors, shaping their responses based on lessons from history. 2. Self-care versus selfishness. INFJs understand the importance of self-care to maintain their emotional and mental health. While self-care may appear as a form of selfishness to some, INFJs view it as a necessary practice to ensure they have the emotional capacity to continue helping others. They know that neglecting their own needs ultimately hinders their ability to be of service to others. 3. Advocating for personal boundaries. Personal boundaries are the invisible lines that define an individual's emotional, physical, and psychological limits. For INFJs, these boundaries are not just lines, they are the guardians of their well-being and the keepers of their inner sanctum. Here's a deeper exploration of how INFJs advocate for their personal boundaries. INFJs recognize the significance of self-care in maintaining their emotional health and overall well-being. They understand that by setting and upholding personal boundaries, they can safeguard their energy and prevent burnout. INFJs are highly empathetic individuals who absorb the emotions and energy of those around them. Advocating for boundaries is essential to prevent empathic overload, where they can become emotionally drained or overwhelmed by others' feelings. INFJs typically approach boundary setting with diplomacy and tact. They communicate their needs and limits assertively but respectfully, striving to maintain harmonious relationships even as they assert their boundaries. Emotional reserves are precious to INFJs. They advocate for personal boundaries to ensure that they have the emotional capacity to support others effectively. By conserving their emotional energy, they can continue to be empathetic and compassionate caregivers. INFJs often find themselves in roles where they give a lot of themselves to others. Advocating for boundaries is their way of ensuring a balance between giving and receiving in their relationships. It helps prevent them from feeling drained or taken for granted. INFJs value authentic connections and believe that setting boundaries is a way to foster genuine relationships. They see it as an opportunity to be honest and vulnerable with others about their needs, leading to more authentic and mutually respectful interactions. INFJs have a tendency to overcommit themselves due to their desire to help and support others. By advocating for boundaries, they resist the urge to take on too much and learn to say no when necessary to protect their time and energy. Advocating for personal boundaries is an act of self-respect and self-value for INFJs. They recognize that by respecting their own limits, they set an example for others to treat them with the same consideration and respect. Personal boundaries play a crucial role in stress management for INFJs. By clearly defining their boundaries, they reduce the likelihood of stressful situations arising from overcommitment, unmanageable expectations, or emotional exhaustion. INFJs approach boundary setting as a delicate art of balance. They aim to protect their well-being while still being supportive and empathetic. It's a constant process of fine-tuning and adjusting their boundaries to fit the needs of each unique situation. 4 moments of frustration. Like anyone else, INFJs can experience moments of frustration, irritability, or fatigue. During these times, they may exhibit behaviors that appear selfish as they seek personal relief or solitude. These moments are usually temporary and not reflective of their overall character. 5. Healthy self-interest. INFJs recognize the importance of pursuing their own goals and interests. While their natural inclination is to support others, they understand that self-interest, when balanced and aligned with their values, can lead to personal growth and fulfillment. 6. Nurturing authentic relationships. INFJs prioritize authenticity in their relationships. Sometimes, this means making decisions that may be perceived as selfish by others in order to maintain genuine connections and avoid compromising their values. 7. Introspection and growth. INFJs engage in introspection and self-improvement as part of their personal growth journey. This may involve focusing on their own development, which, while not inherently selfish, can lead to periods of self-centeredness as they work on becoming better versions of themselves. 8. Striving for balance. INFJs are adept at finding a balance between their selfless and selfish tendencies. They understand that a healthy balance ensures their well-being while also allowing them to continue making a positive impact on others. In summary, INFJs, while often seen as selfless and empathetic, are not exempt from moments of selfishness or self-interest. However, their moments of selfishness are typically a result of self-care, boundary setting, or personal growth rather than a disregard for others. INFJs strive for a balance between selflessness and self-interest, recognizing that both are essential for their overall well-being and the well-being of those around them.